Hi there, grade 12s, and welcome to my channel. If you've been here before, welcome back. This is my little platform where I turn struggling math students into maths masters. And it really helps the channel if you subscribe and turn on the notification button so that you know when I post any new videos and so that the algorithm knows that these videos are helping you. So I'd appreciate you subscribing to the channel. So in this video, I'm going to be looking at cost, profit, and interest. And these are all topics that I've covered individually, but in this video I'm going to be focusing on a specific question paper where these are being asked so that you can actually know how to apply these concepts when actually answering questions. So without further ado, let's jump into this video. Alright, grade 12, so this is your video on cost, profit, and interest. I have made videos on these individually, but the approach, because I've covered most of the content, the ground content, what I'm doing now is I'm going through past papers where this content is asked so that you know how to apply the content that I've covered in previous videos and actually apply them to exam questions. Okay, so I like to start by saying what are the things you have to focus on when you approach any type of exam question. Now, it really isn't helpful that I teach you how to answer this specific question paper that I'm going to work through in this video, because you're never going to see this question again in a final exam paper. Okay, but what I'm using these questions as is to guide you and to show you how you need to approach these type of questions. Okay, so when dealing with these topics, there's a couple of concepts that you have to be clear and make sure that you understand. The first one is understanding that profit will always be your income minus your expenses. And if your income is more than your expenses, then you'll have a profit. But if your expense is more than your income, then you end up actually having a loss. Okay, so that's just the profit, understanding what profit and loss is. Then we have expense is what it will cost you, so money that's leaving your pocket, and income is money that's coming in. Okay, so these are just simple terms that if you don't understand this, then whatever I cover is going to be a problem. Okay, then we have interest, right? So interest paid. So interest that me as a person and an individual has to pay would be if I loan money. So if I take out a bond or I have a car loan, that means that I get that money, I'm borrowing that money, so I have to pay back extra. So the extra that I pay back is the interest, right? Also, I receive interest if I invest my money. So if I put my money in a bank or I put my money in a financial institution, they then will give me my money back with interest, right? Then we have two types of interest. By now you should have a full understanding on simple interest. That is when they calculate your interest from the beginning and you just earn the same interest along, let's say every year or whatever the time period is that you've agreed with a bank. Compound interest, however, is earning interest on interest. So that means that you are not going to be like simple interest, be earning the same interest every year. You're actually going to every year for compound interest be earning interest on the interest that you even earned in the previous year and on the original value. Now I've made a video on each of these, so please feel free to have a look at my finance playlist on my channel for grade 12 Mathslit, and there you will find a video on each of these and you can delve into them individually if you so wish. Okay, so now let's actually look at a question. So what I've done is I've cut out the scenario from the question and I've typed out these questions. So these are actually the questions from the question paper for the NSC exams. Okay, so let me take you through this. So when you get a question like this, before you even read questions, you have to make sure you read all the information that's given to you, you understand all the information that's given to you before you actually attempt the questions. So let's work through this. Neil owns a panel beating business. He specializes in buying accident damaged cars, which he then refurbishes, repairs, repaints, valets for resale. Shown below are the different costs incurred to refurbish an accident damaged 2019 model Renault Kwid bought for 50,000 Rand. Cost of refurbishing the car, So here they give you the 3 costs of what it would cost you to fix the car, and then the actual picture of the car. Fine, I've read all the information that's given. I make sure I understand all the information. Now I'm ready to actually read the question. So the first question asks, calculate the total cost of buying and refurbishing the accident damaged car. So here they say that the car was bought for 50,000 Rand, and then they give you these 3 totals to refurbish. So we will say 50,000 plus the 22,000 plus the 368,250 plus the 450, and in total it would cost us it would cost Neil 76,132 Rand and 50 cents. Okay, so that is simple. That is just making sure you read all the information correctly and that you actually just extracted all the information to answer the questions. That's fine. Let's read the second question. The second question says, Neil normally sells the refurbished car at 65% of the cost price of a brand new similar model car. The cost price of a brand new similar model car is 145,900. Neil stated that he will make a profit of more than 20,000 Rand when he sells the refurbished car. Verify, show all calculations whether his statement is valid. Okay, so what they're saying here is he sells this car, right, for 145,900. He sells it at 65% of what a new car for that same model would cost. And the new car would be 145,900. So the way we would approach this is we would note that profit is equal to income minus expenses, right? So his income for this specific car would then be what he's actually going to sell the car or plan to sell the car for. So that's 65% of 145,900, and it will give you 94,835. So again, money that's coming to him would be the money that he's actually going to be selling the car for. So they tell us that he sells the car at 65% of the cost of a new car, which is then 65% of the 145,900, which gives us the 94,835. That is our income. Now if we look at our expenses, right, this is again this value over here, which is the 76,132.50. That's what it's going to cost him. It's going to cost him 50,000 Rand to actually buy this car that was in an accident, and then 26,132 Rand and 50 cents to fix it. So all this money has left his pocket, and he then has 76,000. He has paid 76,132 and 50 cents. Now to find the profit, we will then say income minus expense, and I end up having 18,702 and 50 cents, which is how much he would make on this car. Okay, now the question says that Neil stated he would make a profit of more than 20,000, but that is not the case based on the information given to us. So therefore we have to actually conclude the question by saying his statement is invalid. Conclude the question by saying his statement is invalid. Okay. So again, do you take note here that you wouldn't know how to answer these questions if you didn't understand the concepts of profit and understanding that money coming in is what he's actually going to get for it, and money going out is what is actually paying for the entire transaction. Okay, now let's look at the last question. Number 3. Neil invests 15,000 of his total profit in a bank which offers him the following interest rate: 6.25 interest compounded yearly for the first year, and an interest of 6.95 compounded yearly for the second year. Calculate the total interest that Neil's investment would earn at the end of the second year. Okay, so he invests 15,000 Rand. For the first year, this is the interest he gets, 6.25. For the second year, this is the interest he gets, which is 6.95. So to answer this question, we're going to do it as follows. For the first year, right, his interest, which was 6.5 times over 100 times what he invested, so 937 and 50 cents is what he makes in the first year. Okay, now the total amount of money that he has in the account is the 15,000 plus this 937 and 50. So when we calculate the interest for the second year now, we're going to calculate the 6.95 times both of these values, because remember we said compound interest is interest earned on interest. So this is the amount plus the interest that he's now going to earn this percentage on. And so for the second year, he's going to earn 1,107 and 65625 for the second year. So in total, right, calculate the total interest is what they want to know, right? So his interest for the first year is this amount, his interest for the second year is this amount. Take note, I've kept all of the decimals and I only round off my final answer. And your final answer, you will, when you're working with money, will always be 2 decimal places. So in total, the amount of interest he will get based on the scenario given is 2,045 and 15 cents. And that is how you would approach the interest questions, especially around simple and compound interest. And again, I have a video that specifically focuses on simple and compound interest, and you can find that in my playlist for grade 12, Maths, Lit, the Finance folder. Okay, so that is the end of this video. Alright, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, feel free to add it in the comment section below, and I will answer them as soon as I get a moment. So thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.